Yes, boys, hope you're all good. Thank you for tuning in. Now, today I'm going to teach you a lot how to be the most confident person in the room, the most confident man in the room, without even saying a word. All right. Now, I guess you could call these, sort of little hacks and tips, but they're not something that's just going to make you look confident. They're something they're tips and hacks that are going to make you actually feel confident. So when you walk into the room, okay, you are actually going to feel like the most confident person in that room. All right. And people are going to sense that. You're going to give off that kind of energy, okay? The things that I do on a day-to-day, and you gain the respect of other people when you are the most confident person in the room, okay? If other people know that you're confident, all right, they just automatically give you that level of respect, because it's like, shit, he's obviously got his shit together. He knows what he's doing. He's confident in himself. He's sure of himself. They see that as almost a potential threat. They see you as almost a little bit dangerous, so they automatically give you that level of respect that you deserve for being that most confident man in the room, okay? So I'm going to teach you boys exactly how to do that, okay, today. But before I do start, if you want to actually take this to the next level and actually become the most confident person in the room all the time, okay, and not just in the room, but in general in life, okay, as a whole, you want to be your most confident version, okay. We actually do have that in our coaching program, okay. We can teach you how to become the most confident version of yourself, all right. So if that's something that you're interested in, then I'll leave a link to my coaching program in the description below. It's like a little application, okay? You fill that out. Once you've filled out the application, I'll get in touch with you and we'll talk a little bit more. But for now, we're just going to give you these little hacks, these little tips that can actually make you just feel a little bit more confident when you walk into that room, okay? You can feel like you are the guy, okay? You feel like you actually give off some energy. You feel like you're not just invisible to everyone, like you've kind of probably felt your whole life, okay? And that's how I was before I started improving myself, before I started actually actively thinking about this stuff and consciously trying to improve my life. I was the most, shy, unconfident, social anxiety kid you'll ever have met, okay? So I'm going to teach you the things that I learned, things that I do still to this day, okay? Now, the first thing, obviously, some of these might seem a bit obvious to you, some of these you might have never heard of, but these are, in my opinion, the things that you should be doing on a day-to-day when you walk into any room to feel like the most confident person in that room, okay? And then you'll operate with that energy and you'll just operate so much better in life, okay? The first thing is your hygiene. Now, there are so many guys, I swear to God, there are so many guys that still do not take care of this, despite it being mentioned over and over and over again. And I mention it over and over again myself. But this is so important. How the fuck can you go and be the most confident person in the room knowing that you fucking stink, all right? But there are so many guys that do. Even like in the gym, there's no excuse. Even when you're in the gym and you're sweating, there is no excuse to be smelling like BO or stinking or smelling musty, okay? If you wear deodorant, you wear aftershave and you wash, you shower, okay? There is no excuse to smell. Because even when I'm in the gym and I'm sweating, I never smell because I do the correct hygienic habits, all right? So that's not ever an excuse to smell. How can you walk into a room and be confident then in yourself if you know you stink, all right? Whereas on the flip side, if you walk into a room and you know you're smelling good, you've actually showered properly, you've got some nice aftershave on, you know that you're smelling nice and you know that you're clean, you're going to be confident to be around people because people want to be around people who smell nice, okay? They want to be around things that are pleasant, and smelling nice is a pleasant thing to be around. So therefore, you knowing that you smell nice and you're smelling good and your hygiene's on point, you're going to be confident enough to be around people. So that's more of a thing of just being confident enough to be in a room alone, okay? Be in a room with other people. You're going to have that confidence. You're going to have that, almost swagger about, yeah, I'm smelling good, okay? I'm clean, I'm hygienic. You can walk into that room and be confident you smell good and that people aren't going to be completely repulsed by you, okay? So make sure you're washing properly, okay? Not just fucking sitting under the shower for like 10 seconds. Wash yourself properly, wear deodorant, get a nice aftershave, okay? And you don't have to go spending fucking hundreds of pounds on aftershaves. You can just get a nice one that just makes you smell good. And then when you walk into a room or go anywhere, okay, you're confident enough to be around people because you know you smell good, okay? That's almost like a prerequisite. I shouldn't even have to tell you that, boys, but there are some guys that do not have this on point, and it's embarrassing, and I thought I'm gonna have to share it because it's one of the points that I would say is very, very important, if not one of the most important ones, okay? So firstly, get your hygiene down. It's probably the most important part. The second part is when you walk into a room or when you're walking anywhere, look in the direction that you're actually going, okay? So in other words, keep your head up, all right? Because if you're walking around like this, not only are you going to look unconfident, but you're going to feel unconfident because it's almost like you've got this lack of awareness. You've got to be looking around you. You've got to make sure you're aware of your surroundings, okay? Because I know this is not unlikely, but on a biological sense, you've got to be able to be a man that's aware of all kinds of danger. You know, some guy might just come fucking stab you in the back or some shit, or like come running at you. You've got to make sure that you're looking ahead of you, okay? You're looking at where you're actually going. You're not just like fucking walking around like this blindly, because that's just going to make you look like an absolute, it's going to make you look just powerless. It makes you look unconfident. So not only that, but it also makes you feel unconfident. Make sure your chin is up, you're looking at where you're going. And this also kind of comes in with posture, okay? I'll put it in the same point. Keep your shoulders back, right? And I don't mean like force it. I don't mean like, you know, fucking put you all the way back like that. Don't force it, but obviously make sure that you've got your shoulders back now. You know, you're nice and relaxed, in like a relaxed sense, okay? In a confident, relaxed sense, not like a forced sense, but like, you know, your shoulders back naturally, okay? Chin up, you're looking confident, you know you're the guy, okay? Just do that. And at first, yeah, it might seem a little bit forced because you're having to consciously think about it, but the more you do it, the more it'll become a subconscious thing. And when it's a subconscious thing, that's when you know you've got that, you know, you actually automatically develop that confidence in yourself just to have your shoulders back, your chin up, okay? It's almost like a thing of openness, you know? You're willing to keep yourself open to the environment around you. You're not scared to, you know, you're not like tucking yourself in like that. Fucking hell, my shoulder hurts. You're tucking yourself in. It's almost like a thing of, you are scared almost, you know, you're scared of like, oh, something might come and hurt me or something. You're proud to open yourself up to the world when you are, you know, shoulders back. So when you're sat, let's say you're sat in like you walk into a waiting room or something and you sit down, rather than you sitting and you're just slouched like this, you sat up right like this, you know, shoulders back, chin up kind of thing. That's going to give you that you're going to have that energy, you're going to put that energy across to other people, and you're going to almost feel that energy from yourself, okay? That's a big ass fucking apple. It's fucking, bro, there's like random ass fucking apple trees be like growing on my wall. What the fuck, bro? But no one's planted a single fucking, we ain't planted no apple trees, so I don't know where the fuck that's coming from. Shit. Anyway, side tangent over. That was fucking pointless, wasn't it? Yeah, posture, keeping your head up, making sure that you're not looking all slouched. Fucking, oh, I'm scared. All right? No, you're going to come across like a weirdo. That's going to make you feel unconfident. You're going to look unconfident. And yeah, it's a very important one. And I'm sure you've heard that before. Like, people always tell you, yeah, posture, make sure, you know, you've got good posture. I'm not just telling you to pretend to have good posture all the time. I'm telling you to do this consistently so you become someone who just has good posture. These are things that you need to work on. These might seem obvious to you, but these are the things that I think are important for you to actually look like the most confident person in the room. As I've said before, these are kind of quick little hacks and tips, but they are going to make you feel, and they are going to, over time, make you become someone who is more confident. As I said before, if you want the full breakdown, the full in-depth guide to actually becoming the most confident version of yourself, we have that in our coaching program. So if you're interested in that, like I said, link below. But these are things that over time will actually develop into something that's not just a habit, but a part of you, okay? So over time, you will just develop that good, confident posture, that, you know, keeping your chin up. I do this all the time now. It's just second nature to me. I walk into a room, my shoulders are back, my chin's up, you know, and I'm actually genuinely confident in myself to do that. Now, obviously, that comes with other things, like having to, you know, actually being confident in yourself will help with that. So going and doing things that will make you confident, like, you know, fucking playing sports, achieving things, you know, going to the gym, make yourself look good, working on yourself, working on your business, making yourself as well-rounded as possible, so that general overall self-confidence just is there. So when you've got that, you're going to automatically walk into rooms with your chin up, with your shoulders back, all right? You're not going to have to pretend to do it, because you just are that guy. You just know you're that guy, all right? That's a very important thing, you know, dressing nice, like I said, smelling good, haircuts on point, you're not, you know, you're nice and shaved, no acne, you know, you're just generally looking after yourself and generally becoming as well-rounded as possible, which you should be doing anyway, okay? But if you do that, that general overall self-confidence in yourself will just be there, and you'll kind of do these things. You won't have to think about doing these natural little hacks and tips. You won't have to think, oh, what was that thing that Sam said in that video? You won't have to do that, because you will just be that person, all right? That's the most important part. That's the one thing I want you boys to take away, is that, yeah, I can give you all these tips and these hacks, and you can listen to all these videos and stuff and people telling you how to be confident, but the best thing that you can do is just go out there and work on yourself. That is the best way to actually be the most confident version of yourself, all right? So I know that's easier said than done. I know you're like, oh, what do I work on? What do I do? You know, these are the kind of things we do teach in our coaching. We teach you every single little detail, all right? But I understand you're thinking, oh yeah, that's easier said than done. You know, I don't know all this stuff. I don't know how to be the most confident version. Just do the things that right now you believe will make you more confident, like going to the gym, okay? like working on your business. These things are obvious, okay? You need to do those things, and you should want to do those things anyway. Those things aren't something to just do or for girls and for, or you know, just so I can get more matches on Tinder. You should do that for yourself, all right? Obviously, yeah, girls is a big motivation for a lot of young men when they're wanting to be more confident, to get into the gym. But you should do this for yourself, because self-love and self-gratitude is a great thing. You should want to do that anyway, okay? Now the third point I'm going to make is when you walk into a room, and again, this is just a little hack, but over time, you will start to realize that this is going to make you actually genuinely confident. This is going to make you confident in yourself, okay? Just fucking lost the ability to speak there for a sec. I'm going to sit down because my arm's getting tired, so I can rest it on here. When you walk into a room, okay, and instead of just fucking ladybird, piss off, instead of just walking through and like, you know, when you walk through, you're like, fucking like this, and you're sprinting across and you're just trying to rush to wherever you need to be, walk in and almost like stand in the doorway for like maybe like a couple of seconds and just observe your surroundings, okay? You know, maybe fix something up, fix your tie up. Maybe you're in a waiting room for an interview or something. Fix your tie up, fix something on yourself, all right? Just don't automatically go to this, like, because a lot of people walk into rooms and they're just kind of sprinting to wherever they need to be and they're rushing around and they're almost on like fucking speed mode. You don't need to be like that in life. You need to take a second sometimes in life to just relax, all right? When you walk into a room, stop for 1 or 2 seconds, take a deep breath, and just look around and observe your surroundings. Make sure you know where everything is in a room. I do this all the time, bro. I need to make sure that I am aware of my surroundings, okay? That will just make you more confident. That will make you feel more confident and knowing, it's almost like this safety of knowing you know everything, okay? You've observed everything. You know where all the fucking fire exits are in case a fire happens. You know where all the doors and stuff are. You see how many people are in the room. You see how many guys are in the room. You see how many girls are in the room. You see, you know, it's not a thing of, oh, you know, I want to make sure that no one kills me. It's just a thing of having that awareness of your surroundings at all times, and it just gives you that self-confidence. So if you walk in the room, you've got, you know, nice posture, chin up, things I've said before, you're smelling good automatically, you're confident enough to be around people, and then you just stand in the doorway for 1 or 2 seconds, look around you, fix something on you, take a deep breath, and not only will that make you feel more confident in yourself because you're aware of your surroundings, but it will make you look more confident because people are just going to look over and be like, Jesus fucking Christ, this guy like knows what he's doing, like this guy's the guy. Not many people do that because you stand out, okay? Do you understand that? There are not many people that will just walk into a room and stand and look at their surroundings for a second, fix themselves up, you know, look nice, good posture. Posture alone will make you stand out from most people anyway, because most guys are slouched and unconfident as it is. But people will look at you and be like, shit, I've never seen that before, you know? That's actually very almost like an impressive thing to them, all right? So doing those things, like I said, it's a little hack, but over time, you do that more and more and more, you will start to become someone who just does that, and it will make you feel like a really confident person. So if you implement all those 3 things that I just told you, okay, 3 or 4 things I just told you, and you implement them and you keep doing them and you consistently do them, okay, you'll begin to start feeling so much more confident when you walk into any room. I promise you will stand out from everyone if you do those things. Those are things that I do on a day-to-day, and I'm not just someone who does those as little like tips and hacks. Those are things that are a part of me. I've developed them as a part of me, so I just do them. You know, I'm generally confident in myself, so I do those things anyway, but those are things that I started doing when I was kind of really unconfident, social anxiety, shy, hated everything, you know, hated fucking talking to people. Those things that I started to implement as well as working on myself, and then I saw my self-confidence just skyrocket, okay? And over time, like I said, it's not an overnight fix, but over time, you'll begin to feel that confidence in yourself, and you will look the most confident person in that room, and you haven't even said a fucking word at that point, okay? Make sure you're looking people in the eye. You're not turning away from people if you catch eye contact with them, you know? Look people dead in the eye. Let them know, you know? You're the fucking guy. You're not scared of no one, all right? And I promise you, you'll start to feel so much better. You'll start to feel like an absolute G. All right, boys? If you enjoyed that, give the video a like. You know, if you've got any questions for me, drop it in the comments. If you've got any questions that you don't want everyone else to know, you can drop me a DM. I'll also leave my Instagram in the link below. Hope you enjoyed that. Stay active, and I'll see you boys in a bit.